I don't care what credential you have, what license you have, what seminary you went to. If you don't smell like sheep, you're not a shepherd. You're the most faithful servant that I know. Straight up. You disqualified yourself from anything and everything, but God turned it and he used it for good.
Like, another blessing that happened too is like a month after I got sentenced, they passed a law in North Dakota that like any case like that, it's automatic 10 years.
What's the charge? Today's guest, we have one of my best friends, one of my ministry partners, vision partners, a tremendous, hardworking, servant-hearted man of God, Jordan Mckay. I want to backtrack to who is Jordan? Like, growing up, what was your experience? Maybe starting as a child, you know, what was your home life like, and where did you grow up?
Grew up in Sacramento. My parents, they divorced when I was about 9, so kind of split at home. Didn't really go to church or anything like that. Just probably went a couple times with my family before they divorced. Just because, like, some people invited us and whatnot,
So did you know the people, or was it like
yeah, it was, like, close friends that kind of invited us that I played football with and whatnot, so.
Yeah. So you went to, was that at Capitol?
Yeah, actually.
Your first church experience was at Capitol?
Capitol Christian. Yeah.
So were you in high school this time, or this is when you were 9, your parents are going through the divorce?
This was, like, 7, 8.
Years old?
Yeah. I went to the kids' side and just played arcade games and whatnot, so it was pretty fun.
Classic youth ministry.
Yeah.
So I was born into a broken home, divorced parents ever since I can remember. So talk about, you know, how that affected you as a kid, and then looking back where you are now, did it cause any tendencies, or did you see it cause some trauma in your life looking back with hindsight?
Yeah, for sure. Caused a lot of anger issues kind of in my life, for sure. That just seeing stuff like happen between my mom and dad during that time, and even like relationships that my dad would have, seeing other things like that, and friends they'd bring around and stuff like that, and yeah, even I didn't have a good relationship with my dad because of things that happened. So that kind of played a part to why up until I was like 15, I was going back and forth between my parents, and then started just living with my mom. Dad kicked me out and stuff, so.
Mm-hmm. Like in high school?
Yeah. Over some game socks.
I need to know what does that mean? What are you talking about? Like football game socks?
Yeah, football game socks. So
you had the wrong color or what?
Nah. So I was at my dad's house at this time, and he lived right around the corner from my mom's, and I was gonna go ride my bike to go get my game socks. It was like 8 at night or something. He's been telling me to take the trash out the whole day. Didn't take it out. He got mad, started an argument, packed up my stuff, moved in with my mom, didn't move back after that. So, and that's probably like the 3rd time that I moved out, but I didn't move back in after that one.
Okay, so I want to talk about, we both come from divorced parents. I want to talk about how God can use our pain and turn it into our purpose for being married in the future. So what are some things maybe that you disliked seeing, you know, in your marriage, in the parents' failed marriage, that you as a man with hindsight, with Jesus, with wiser counsel than you, who are coming alongside you to help you, what can you learn and take from that to, yes, it was painful, but how do you now apply that to your future marriage and your prep work right now?
Well, a lot of the time when I was like younger, I guess I could say, I always had this style of like, I don't want my relationships to be what I've seen kind of thing. and also that I would always be there for like when I have kids and whatnot.
Mhm.
So kind of just those little things, but I mean that's still true to today too. I don't want to live off those examples, just trying to learn new examples so I can implement them into future relationships,
Yeah.
whatnot. So.
Yeah. And, I've heard it said when you get older, you find out who your parents are. And so this isn't to bag on our parents, it's to learn from mistakes that they've made. And that's pretty much why I made this podcast. It's to talk about mistakes, it's to get real stories, real testimonies from real people, and to talk about pain and how we turn it into purpose, or how God turned it into our purpose, rather. So I think it's important when we can learn from our pain and now we can apply it to the future. And so part of our message is your past does not define your present. So just because your parents did it doesn't mean that we have to do it.
Yeah.
And so, switch gears. You were raised in a broken home, divorced parents, just like me, and we have similar backgrounds. So take me through your high school years of, what was that experience like? I know you played football. We both played quarterback. I was a little better.
Yeah, I only played QB my senior year, so and I was really just a running back. Yeah, so I was pretty much into sports ever since I was like 7, mainly football. I started doing track a little bit in middle school, which led me into it in high school also. Then around sophomore year, my football coach also wanted me to try wrestling, so I tried it, and I got stuck with that for 3 more years. But
Did you do that to get in shape for football?
just to stay in shape and out of trouble, really, year round.
So that's actually fun fact. I didn't start tackle football until I was a freshman, but I only played it to get in shape for baseball. But I actually ended up starting at quarterback all 4 years. That's not a flex. Oh, sorry. But like seriously, I did start it to just literally get in shape for the sport that I loved, and then I fell in love with football, and it was great. Like high school was amazing as far as sports but yeah, because I want to get to something, but I want to go ahead, keep going with your high school.
Yeah, high school fun. Did the sports just to like stay in shape and whatnot. Wrestling, I started for 2 weeks. Tried to quit. My deal was that I'd try it for a week and then tell my coach what it was. Told my mom 2 weeks later that I didn't want to do it no more, and she said that wasn't the agreement, so you got to stay with it. So they had me looking goofy in a singlet,
It's like the biker, kind of like the biker
the little
bib,
tights and
which I'm trying to get. My wife won't let me though.
Singlet, really?
For the cycle, like when I'm cycling, I'm trying to get the bibs. Like when it.
Yeah, don't get.
I think I'm too big though. I don't know if it makes one my size.
Yeah.
Okay, so football, wrestling, track. Yeah, I was baseball, basketball, football, but a huge part of my story is finding my identity in sports. Oh. So I know that's common for a ton of people, but like, do you feel that was ingrained? Like, for instance, my dad, super hard on me, awesome dad as far as talking about sports and like pushing me hard and practice with me every single day, was at every single game. Do you think that was ingrained from your parents, your dad, or did you just have a love for sports naturally through?
I feel like it was a love for sports, mainly for football, and also like I would connect with my coaches like on a more personal level than most people on the team. I feel like would. Most of my coaches were like a dad to me, kind of thing. So it was cool to have that, and then my dad even coached like when I was a Mighty Might or something. So.
And you went to Rosemont, right?
Yeah, went to Rosemont all 4 years.
Shout out Rosemont. What's the mascot?
Wolverine.
Shout out Wolverines.
Wolverines, So, and we weren't the best, but but,
never heard of you. I'm just kidding.
Where'd you go?
I went to Whitney.
Where's that?
Come on, bro.
Merced? No,
I did go to Merced.
Yeah. No.
Okay, so identity in sports, like everything I did, the success I had in school was for sports. Like that was my kingdom. That was my throne. I was obsessed with it. I was obsessed with performance. And so I was actually raised Catholic. And so I had the foundation of God, never had a relationship with Jesus. But my view of God was based on his approval. I thought I had to perform just as I did on the football field, just as I did on the court, just as I did on the baseball diamond. So the better I did, the more I got applauded, the more articles that I was in, the more features I got in the news. Meanwhile, I had no idea what that was going to lead to, which is, we'll touch on it later, but pride, arrogance, and that literally led to my downfall. So talk about, do you feel that you found your identity in sports and performance, or did you have balance? How did that look like for you in high school? Because I know for football, it's hard. Like, you got the girls, you got the teachers, like, talking about football. It's a huge thing. So what that look like for you?
For sure, if I wasn't in sports, I probably would have been in a lot more trouble in high school, for sure. I was in a lot of trouble till high school, actually my freshman year. I got suspended and couldn't play a game, and I never wanted that to happen again. So, and then I knew I needed grades, and also my mom was really on me about grades because.
Did you get your grades?
I got good grades, yeah. Not my freshman year, not the best, but passing.
Sure.
But that wasn't acceptable for my mom. I'd have like all B's, or she'd like take things away from me and whatnot. So that kind of helped. But and I thought, like, if I get good grades, I'll get a scholarship to college to go play somewhere, and whatnot. So,
the dream.
Yeah, so that was the main thing, kind of pushing me towards staying good. And that also had to do with the behavior stuff too, because I was told, I don't actually know if it's the true thing, but like the colleges will look at your behavior side too.
100%.
So that I knew I had to stop, like, freshman year, at least, like, stop getting in trouble so much.
Yeah.
It's like.
So, you graduate high school, you get a scholarship, right? Or you go.
So I had a scholarship to school in Oregon. It ended up working out.
What school?
George Fox.
Okay.
It's
D3?
a private school, yeah. So
yeah. So they give educational scholarships, right?
Yeah, not athletic. So the scholarship that I got wasn't enough to afford it, so I ended up not going there. Took a year off of sports and worked at a job that I probably honestly shouldn't have, that exposed me to a lot of stuff.
What job and where?
It was like a granite company in West Sac. And
this is before you go to college? Or
yeah.
Okay.
This was like, I just turned 18, just graduated, and needed a job just for 6 months till spring semester started and I could enroll.
This is when you, remind me, did you start at Sierra?
Yeah.
First?
Yeah. Okay,
so you're enrolled at Sierra, you're going to go there, play football, right?
Yeah. So actually, I started in spring football at Sierra. The coach asked me to redshirt. I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. Kind of like, I'm too good for that,
Pride.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm just going to take a semester off and I'll go to Sac State and walk on, see what happens. And then ended up, Sac State doesn't allow you to transfer in spring without any college beforehand, so you have to start in fall. So then I started going to Sierra in spring. Yeah. So.
After you told them kick rocks?
Yeah.
You said, can I come back, actually?
Yeah.
Okay. So you go back, you play safety there?
Yeah. So actually, the reason I got back onto the team, because the coach was super strict about people not texting him and doing it the right way, kind of thing.
Yeah.
One of the players that was there in fall, he was actually from Alaska. He got shot and killed at a house party. And that kind of brought me back together in the Sierra community. So I asked the coach, like, I just want to play just on this season just because everything that happened, I want to be a part of this kind of thing. So that's what ended up bringing me back on to the actual football team.
Yeah, yeah.
But I was still going to go to school regardless. But, yeah.
So after Sierra, do you get a scholarship to the school in Dakota?
That was like, so
or
I played that
not for football.
It was for football, but I stopped playing Sierra, took a year off, and then my really close friends, like my brother basically, he got a scholarship to school in North Dakota. I went up there for a game or two, And I started missing football again. I talked to him like, hey, let's talk to your coach and see what we could do. Ended up getting a scholarship up there, so it's pretty. And it was not a full ride, but close enough to where it was manageable to.
So you had good scholarship money.
Yeah.
Enough to like
I only had to
okay,
pay
I can do this.
a couple thousand a semester or
Done
a
deal.
year or whatever. So yeah, it was good.
So you go up there, do you get a job at that point? Or you're just playing football, you're going to school?
So I was up there 2 weeks and got arrested.
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually I was supposed to have I had a job interview the day before I got arrested, and then I was supposed to start on Monday. So this was like Thursday, got arrested Friday, was supposed to start on Monday, bring in
Turn of events.
Social Security and all that, get the signing papers and start. But that didn't happen. So
Let's talk about it.
yeah.
So you go North or South Dakota?
North.
North Dakota. Is it cold there?
Yeah,
It snows, right?
Super cold. Like
Yeah.
yeah. Like
Okay, so you get there, you're fired up, you're walking into a dream, you got recruited, you got a scholarship, and we talked about kind of finding our identity in sports. What happens when that dream all comes crashing down? And let's talk about why. Like what happened? What happened to Jordan Mckay in North Dakota?
So I mean, growing up, I didn't really have like a lot of funds and stuff. So I thought I could take it in my own hands and try to make some money and make it a quick way. I started drug dealing and stuff. So, and the first week, my mom was up there with me, so I didn't do nothing. I was just kind of chilling.
You were saying?
Yeah, saying chilling, waiting for moms to go home. Right when she left, got into what I was doing. Got connected with like one of the dudes that was doing his thing up there, and I sold for 2 days, and then I got arrested.
So you're there. You sold for 2 days, slanging for 2 days. You're only there for 2 weeks.
2 weeks total.
And you get arrested.
Yep.
Walk me through that. What is that even? I mean, I was arrested, but it's a different.
Yeah. So I was selling weed, wax pens, wax, and then I was selling perks. They had fentanyl in them and stuff. I didn't really know what they were too much. I just kind of had them kind of thing. So we're talking to the dude up there, and I'm like, hey, how do I know if these are, real thing or whatnot? And he's like, the bags, they're real if it's not like this. So I'm like, okay, cool. And then
It's good.
he had some guy hitting them up. He was actually out of state on like a track meet or something like that, whatnot. So at the time, he wasn't up there to supply anything. So sent the guy to me. This guy ended up meeting me up. We sold it to him about 11 a.m. Went on with my day. Ended up getting arrested at 11 p.m. that same day.
What's the charge?
Possession of controlled substance with the intent to deliver, a negligent homicide, and then like some other misdemeanor charges.
Okay, so you sell this perk laced with fentanyl. You have no idea that it's laced with fentanyl.
No idea.
And unfortunately, this person dies from OD.
Yep.
Your life is in shambles.
Yeah. Literally, I was so confused, like, on everything. They kicked my door in at 11 p.m. that night, and I was confused, like, did I get told on by one of the people that came to my apartment that day or something? Or
I mean, you have no idea at this point. You're thinking, okay, you're getting busted for just drugs, which is bad enough. You have no idea that...
No idea that this happened. I'm sitting in the cop car for about 3-4 hours before they come out and talk. There's an officer like sitting out there with me, like outside.
Because they're searching your place. Yeah,
they're searching my place. I have no idea like exactly what happened, what's going on. They start asking me questions about a certain delivery at a gas station and whatnot. So kind of like what's going on, and then that's when they told me like the dude's like no longer with us, and I was like, I just started crying. I'm like,
Yeah.
why is this happening? You know, like
Yeah.
I didn't want anything like this to happen, and then that's kind of just when it started.
Yeah.
Down, kind of.
Okay, so do you? This is might be a confusing question. Do you believe in God at this point in your life? Like, obviously, you're not following Jesus.
Yeah.
Do you believe in God at this point? Like, hey, you talk to God at all? You pray?
I always like believed in God.
Sure.
I started actually going to youth group in high school because we had one of my youth pastors that actually helped me out in this time also. Cole Zig.
Cole Zig, yeah.
So he.
I want to talk about him later.
Yeah, he invited me to church when I was in high school because he was helping with our football team, and kind of another like strong male role model in my life.
Yeah.
Kind of just took me under his wing. Had us like at his house watch football. Kind of we had sleepovers, did stuff with him all the time. Like just a cool guy. Like, and he invited me to church. I came to church. Then I kind of walked away after high school. But yeah, so I believed in God always. Just I wasn't in the Word or praying or anything like that at the time. Yeah.
So believed in God, no relationship with Jesus, no interest in following Jesus, but believed in God.
Yeah.
Right? How many people right now are in your same exact shoes? Right? Like they got the cross, they got the chain.
Yeah. For sure had the cross and chain.
Like they're talking about God, but like Satan believes in God.
Yeah.
The demons believe in God, obviously. And so, okay, so your life is over.
Yep.
Point blank period. Like you're done. You think it's done, right?
Yeah.
Like what are you gonna do? You're gonna spend the rest of your life in prison. That's probably what's running through your mind.
Yeah. So they go through like questioning and whatnot, and then it's a Friday, so you don't even get to go to court till Monday. And that,
bro.
Yeah. So the whole weekend, I didn't even call my mom that night either. Like for some reason, it was like 3 a.m. when I finally got booked into the
longest night of your life.
Yeah, longest night ever, and just a lot going on. I was like so not there that I didn't even realize that they're 2 hours ahead. My mom's probably still awake. It's a Friday night, kind of thing. But I didn't even call her. She found out from somebody else, and I called her the next morning, like at like 8 a.m.
So she knows. She's probably freaking out because she can't talk to you.
Can't talk to you. Yeah.
You're freaking out because you have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
What the rest of your life looks like. What changes? Does anything change?
Like in that moment?
In that moment, in jail. How long were you in jail?
5 months.
5 months in jail.
Yeah.
And never were, like you said you were in trouble, but you were never in the juvenile system. You were never in jail ever. Yeah. Like, not like that. Like
time,
petty stuff you were in trouble for back in the day.
Suspended from school.
Yeah. So you're in jail 5 months. And you have no idea what sentencing is going to look like, I'm assuming?
Well, I didn't even know that it was going to be 5 months. When my first hearing to where they just say your charges and whatnot, I didn't understand it. It was my first time kind of thing. So at this time, the negligent homicide wasn't on the charges.
Okay.
So I had 4 felonies and then like 2 misdemeanors. The 4 felonies were 10 years each. So I'm over here thinking 40 years, my life is done. I'm going to be 60-something when I get out of here. Like, so it's like...
Grandpa Jordan.
And during the time, it was also COVID. So we had to stay on 23-hour lockdown in a cell by ourselves.
Isolation,
yeah. So I was... Yeah,
You're going through it.
Yeah, it was a bad time for sure.
Do you find Jesus in your jail cell? I know you've told me. I mean, I know your story, but
yeah,
is it your mom that sent you a Bible? Who sent the Bible?
So my mom sent me the Bible. Cole Zig, where he comes back into the story a little bit. So he actually worked for an airline and flew out to North Dakota to get my car that was seized from the police. When it got released, he came, picked it up, and drove it back to Sacramento for my mom. So during that time, also since he was a pastor. Yeah, great guy. He was almost not able to come in because they had to schedule it or something.
Mm-hmm.
But my mom called and did the mom thing, so he was
She
able
was
to come
Mama
in.
Bear.
Yeah, so he was able to come in and talk to me. We weren't able to I had to wear a mask. We weren't able to touch, or I had to stay in quarantine longer and whatnot. So he just came, talked to me, gave me a little word kind of thing, and just was there for me in the best way he could, at
Yeah.
the time. So yeah, that was probably like a weekend
Yeah.
me being there, maybe 2.
The power of literally God sending one person that just shows up.
Yeah.
Like, there is nothing like somebody just showing up, even if they don't have words. Like, it's literally the power of presence, right? I call it the power of proximity to another believer. It's insanely powerful how God can send one person into your life to change it forever.
Yeah.
And so I want to talk about Cole separately, but because that's a shepherd.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't care what credential you have, what license you have, what seminary you went to. If you don't smell like sheep, you're not a shepherd.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't show up for the flock and you need to take a flight or you need to take a drive and you're going to be that one person that says yes to be obedient, to show up for another person.
Yeah.
I don't care what you have.
Yeah,
like, you don't smell like sheep. So praise God for Cole, like, straight up.
Yeah.
But sounds like an amazing man of God. I've heard a lot of good things about him. I don't know him personally, but senior pastor now, right? At church,
yeah.
AG Church, I think. Maybe it's not.
Him and his wife do a lot of more traveling,
Sure,
and stuff about. His topics was more like sex topics and stuff. Like
sure.
that,
You could say sex out loud.
So yeah. Yeah.
We got to get Cole on here.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he'd be down to do this.
All right. Okay, so you go back to the Bible.
Okay.
Your mom sends you the Bible.
So
how and when do you find Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior?
So after about 2 weeks of isolation, I didn't have my Bible at this time yet. I wasn't able to get packages sent just yet. Then I got transferred into the main, we were in a dorm kind of thing, not really sales. So I actually did have my Bible in isolation for a couple of days and was reading it some, because I only had one other book. They said I couldn't get any other books because I was on quarantine. And for some
COVID
reason,
in the books.
Yeah.
It seeps into pages is what they said.
Yeah, they said you can't check out anything else that's not already in your sales. So I was stuck to one book. I read it about 4 times.
What book?
Couldn't even tell you the name, honestly, but it was a good book. But so then I started reading my Bible, and then I get transferred to the dorm cell, and so I'm in there, start filling people out a little bit.
This is a cell where it's actually is it bunks or it's a holding cell?
Yeah, it's bunks. So
multiple people in the cell.
Yeah, so there's 3 bunks on this side, 4 bunks on that side. Holds about 14 people or something like that. So, yeah. So the first day or two, people, my lawyer literally told me don't talk about your case. People like to tell and try to get lawyer sentences out here.
Dang, the snitches just straight up.
Yeah, so
right there.
People were trying to ask me my case, and I was like, I don't want to talk about it. And then there was this guy in there that was looking up, he's calling people on the outside to look up my stuff to see what it said. And so then this other guy comes up and tells me that, and I'm looking at him, and I'm just I don't know what to do right now. Do I just go, I'm in a jail. So, yeah, so I'm over there just mad, just looking at him do I just go punch him while he's watching TV right now? What do I do? Kind of thing. He's literally just looking like this, and it's free hit. I could just eat it. But
just sleep one time.
I'm sitting there mad, just looking. I stop myself, I go and pray. And then after I pray, I get on the phone with my brother's mom, the one that was out there already. And I talk to her, and I'm like, hey, so this dude's looking at my case, do I just beat him up or what? She's like, no, just calm down. It's going to be all right kind of thing. And she kind of calms me down. And then when I get off the phone, my one of the dudes in there, his name's Los, and we ended up clicking and reading the Bible a lot together too. He comes up to me, he's like, "Hey," he's like, "Don't worry about it, I'll take care of it." And then pulls the dude in the shower, talks to him, and then
Talks to him?
yeah, no, they didn't fight or nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, so he literally just talked to him.
Yeah,
And then, so after that, the dude, it didn't stop the dude from looking at my stuff, but I just kind of left it alone, didn't really trip off it too much. And then me and Los and this other dude named Don, Los was from Ohio and Don was from Michigan. Both like they were on federal charges in there, so they're in there a little bit longer and stuff. But we started just us three started reading the Bible and stuff, talking about the Bible with each other. There's this really weird dude in there that was twisting a lot of Bible stuff for people even in there, and we were able to like just kind of disciple them in there too a little bit just by.
So he's essentially giving false doctrine in jail.
Yeah,
like taking things out of context, and he's
for sure,
like legit, just twisting it and trying to make them believe like false doctrine.
Yeah, for example, like it's cold in North Dakota, and I'd be like, "Man, it's cold as hell in here, man." Like, and he was like, "Yeah, actually, hell is cold," and I'd be like, kind of like, "What? Like, what are you talking about, dude?" Like, just stuff like that, and like he talked about like demons and stuff like that, and it was just weird. Like, he actually ended up leaving the cell, and one of the homies moved in his bunk. Moved out a couple days later because like he just felt like weird vibes like in that bunk. So it's like kind of weird, but yeah, backtrack a little bit now. So reading with Los and Don and stuff like that, and in the cell, just helped me to get back on track with God. Started praying more. I was praying every day, reading the Bible every day, at least like a chapter or two in the morning. You know, pray at night. Yeah, so that's when I actually started to like feel God come back into my life and stuff during that time.
So a tangible feeling of the presence of God hit you behind bars.
Yeah, and
it wasn't no church.
Yeah, and we would even like me and Los, we were like bunks right next to each other, so we talked a lot more about it, just like the feeling and stuff like that. We could feel presence and all that kind of stuff. So
it's amazing.
Yeah.
So Los and Don.
Yeah.
Discipled you. That's what you'd say in church? Or you kind of sharpened each other?
We sharpened each other for sure.
Same in the journey.
Yeah, because, right? I mean, we'd read stuff and kind of like, I mean, we were all reading the same Bible, kind of just our own thoughts of it kind of thing. So sharpen each other, give each other different perspectives of things and whatnot. So
give me 2 major things that you learned in jail.
2 major things I learned in jail.
They could be fun or they could be life lessons, but what are 2 things that you learned? Don't go to jail.
Yeah, for sure. Don't go to jail. I learned how to better, I guess, control my anger too while being in jail. It was hard in the beginning, especially when I first got into the pod. I almost tried to fight a dude over him farting. So it's like,
Hold on.
Yeah.
Dude farted.
It wasn't
was
the
it
first
the sound
time.
Or the stench?
The stench. Because, so I don't know if you ever been around like people that use like harder drugs and stuff and whatnot. So
I used to put them away.
Yeah, so when
they never farted in my patrol car.
Yeah, so the farts, like, especially when they're withdrawing, the farts stink really bad. And there's this certain individual in there that he did it a couple times, and we just said, "Hey, bro, like, we don't mind you doing it. Just go back to because we had so how it was set up is like a TV, bunks, and then the shower was on this side, and the toilet was on this side. And then
you got to get to the back.
Yeah, we're just
doing it in the living space.
We're just like, at least go back to the bathroom area or something, you know. And also the phone is back there, so like, just if you see somebody back there, just go more to the bathroom or go behind the curtain, you know, right there. Do something, you know. And I had my bunk before I moved next to Los. It was right next to the little, closer to the TV in the front, and there's a little table right here. And he's sitting right there, and he just farts. And I'm mad. I'm like, bro, and get mad, and then we're about to fight, and then we end up not fighting, but it was just like kind of
So
for
saved,
sure.
still have struggles.
Yeah, for sure.
Normal.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you give your life to Jesus in prison. Like, what happens as far as sentencing? You said you're only in there for 5 months, but you're literally charged with 4 felonies and negligent homicide. How in the heck does that happen?
So actually, like a month later, when I'm in the jail, I got arrested around January 15th. I think it was my exact date. I got arrested sometime in February. That's when they hit me with the other charge of negligent homicide.
Mm,
And so when they did that, I thought I was gonna be done forever. You know, it's like it's a homicide charge. Like, you know, I'm not getting out ever. You know, kind of thing. So that kind of made me backtrack and get back into like. I mean, obviously, I wasn't in the best headspace 24/7 in there. You know, I had bad things going on and stuff, and other struggles that, and just people that I had to deal with, and different types of people and whatnot. So, yeah. So wait, what was the whole question again?
I don't know.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. So, but yeah. So people.
Talk about how does the sentencing work?
Oh,
Like, how do you get sentenced to only 5 months and then get out?
So the whole time I had probably like 3 court dates, and then I ended up trying to. While I was in there, there's people telling me about Teen Challenge in
Mm.
North Dakota and different programs.
Is this a nationwide program?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought so.
I applied for it out there. Started saying that I was like using drugs, got a eval, trying everything to just not be in there,
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of thing, you know. So, um, applied to Teen Challenge, told my lawyer about it. He's like, it's a far stretch, but we'll see what I could do, kind of thing. And the what's it called? Like the what's the person that does the charges to you? What are they
The
called?
DA?
Yeah, yeah. So he was talking to the dude's family that passed away the
Okay.
whole time. Like they're a big reason why I got the plea I got was because of them, and
Explain that. What do you mean by that?
because so basically what my plea was finish Teen Challenge, which is a year-long program, then complete 3 years probation, and then I also got deferred imposition, which basically after I finish parole or probation, my record gets sealed, and then I also had to pay like $14,000 to the family
Sure.
for what happened. So just to cover like X amount of stuff. So that's kind of what the plea was. And so during this time, my lawyer's telling me like different things, like what could happen. And then I told him about this. I guess the DA talked to the family. The family went for it, kind of thing. So that's how it ended up happening that way.
So they essentially are saying, our son died, but we don't want you to spend the rest of your life in prison.
Yeah.
Paying for this mistake. And you got a chance to talk to the family.
Yeah, so that's another thing that where God showed up for sure. Because during the time, like obviously, like someone's not on the earth because of something that I did, one of the actions I took, and a big thing like people were telling me is like I didn't force him to take anything like that, and it's just like that always just went straight to the back of my head, like get that out of here, you know, like I'm the reason, you know, that's happening. Like I'd be praying for forgiveness and whatnot and everything, and like literally when I walked into the sentencing, because that was the first time I was in the actual courtroom. All the other stuff was just on Zoom.
Yeah.
So I walk into the courtroom, it's like his whole family in there, and it's like my brother's in the back, and like so I'm like I just started once I see them all, I'm like I start crying. Like the dude's wife comes up, talks, and then like I found out like he had kids and stuff, so it's like that hurt even more too. And then mom comes up and talks, grandma comes up and talks, like everyone's talking, and it's like And I just feel like all the pain that I put them
Yeah.
through in that time. So it's like kind of, it was hard for me for sure. And like, yeah, I was crying probably the whole court little time right there. So
You're literally experiencing, it's not the same pain that they're experiencing, because they're experiencing loss of somebody they love and they've known them forever.
yeah,
But you're literally experiencing a pain that you know that you caused through one mistake.
yeah,
It took one decision, like you said, and people can say whatever they want, but it's not going to change the fact that we're held accountable for our actions.
yeah, for
So
sure.
God's allowing you to go through this pain to teach you something,
Yeah, for sure.
right?
Yeah.
How to deal with pain, how to become dependent upon Him in your pain, or how to turn your pain into your purpose. So, like, they're talking. Do you get a chance to talk to them right then? Is it a separate time?
This is a separate time. So
I remember, right? It's like
they come up, they talk, I just sit there and I just gotta listen.
you're just taking it.
Yeah, just listening to what they're saying. Just like I'm looking at them the whole time though, like I wasn't like off looking or nothing, you know. So I felt like everything they had, like, and yeah, it was a hard time for sure.
I think people have this misconception that if it's painful, God can't be in it.
Yeah,
But it's like, I think God is in the midst of our pain, right? Because He's omnipresent. He's also all-knowing. So He's not going to spare you from that pain, right? Because we have free will. Okay, so not to get too theologically deep, but then we have our free will to do whatever we want, to rebel against God, to make mistakes, to make decisions. But God is so sovereign in the fact that He's letting you go through the pain and the trauma that you caused, to then turn it into something beautiful. So our buddy Lance, he has an awesome book. It's called Planted Not Buried, right? So it's like, at this point, you think your life's done, you're buried, right? But God is actually planting something to grow it inside of you and to impact so many people. That's why your story is so powerful. Also, a huge piece of that is getting forgiveness from this family.
Yeah.
So tell me about what that conversation looked like.
Like I said, I was praying. That was like every time I prayed, like that was in there for sure. Like every single time, like that I was praying for that a lot, just like forgiveness from the family and whatnot. And literally at the end, when after the judge agreed to the terms and whatnot, the mom and the aunt, they asked the guard that was taking me back into the jail, like, hey, can we talk to him for a second? He was like, yes, it's so good. And then that's when they talked to me. They were like, just don't let this opportunity kind of thing, like, don't waste it and go back to doing what you're doing kind of thing. And they told me that they forgave me, and that was like answered prayer right there. And I was just like, I mean, it felt better, but it's like it still sucks. And there's times like even like after some of the family has like reached out to me to like just check in, like, hey, I hope you're still doing good, and I kind of just updated them kind of what I'm doing with my life and stuff. And so it's just
you've remained in contact with this family, not like every day, but
like I've talked to one. I think it's either one of the aunts or grandma. Talked to one of them like they sent me a Facebook Messenger post and whatnot, and like that was a big thing too. That when the mom came up and talked, and she seen like all the pictures from when I first got up to the school up there.
Yeah.
Me and my mom and family, and like just kind of went through my mom's stuff and my stuff kind of thing, and just seeing that, I think they could tell like that's not the kind of dude I was kind of thing. So that's kind of, I think, what they kind of made their decision on too, to kind of not keep me in the system. And it's another like blessing that happened too, is like literally 2 months after I got, or a month after I got sentenced, or 2 months, one of the two. they passed a law in North Dakota that like any case like that, it's automatic 10 years. So
No matter what.
yeah, and there's already people before me that got in 10 plus years for the same charges in North Dakota.
So I feel like you have two types of people, right? That when you're going through pain like that, when you're going through trauma like that on both sides, you either completely turn away from God and you're like, you can't be real, right? Like how many people experience this extreme grief or trauma, like it's in the world, it's very present, and they absolutely turn away from God. There cannot be a God because of X, Y, and Z. God would not allow this, right? A good God would not X, Y, Z. Or I don't want to serve a God who X, Y, Z. Or there's another people group who literally take whatever mistake that they've made, they ask God, they humbly come before God and say, here it is.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what else to do. I've done enough wreckage in my life. I've messed up so much to where I cannot bear this. And isn't it interesting that when we give it to him, our pain, our trauma, and we just ask simply for forgiveness, or we pray, like all you did was reach out to God.
Yeah, for
God, I need your help. Like you're in a cell. God, I need your help. I don't know what to do. Ask for forgiveness of the family. He's like, no problem. Because that forgiveness is actually for them.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. But how much has it impacted you?
A lot.
So that's the powerful point of forgiveness, right? So like people say unforgiveness or bitterness is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die.
Yeah.
So it's holding on to this heavy weight, this heavy baggage. I heard this story one time of these people went on these trips, and these two ladies were part of a small group that they were talking about unforgiveness, and they're loading this ship, and there's a weight limit to their bags, and it's way overweight, and the person's like, hey, you got to empty your bag of some stuff, like it's way overweight. And so she just starts taking out like these big rocks, right? Like these big kind of boulder-ish rocks. And the people are looking like, what are you doing? Like, why are those in your bag? And come to find out, she shares she's part of this Bible study group. And each boulder represents somebody that they have yet to forgive. So this one stone represents you wronged me and I'm holding on to this. So they have to now walk around with that weight physically to help them and remind them that they have yet to forgive that person. And it was such a strong illustration that it's a weight that we carry around. It wears on us, it tears us, it causes us stress. It literally kills us from the inside out. And the forgiveness piece for them, like, I don't even know how I would do that.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't even know if they were believers, but like I love Jesus with all my heart, and I'm very sold out for Jesus, like as everyone that knows me knows that. But if that happens, that'd be super hard, right? So like, praise God, because it literally changed the trajectory of your life. I would say, sum it up in one word, the word that changed the trajectory of your life is forgiveness.
Yeah.
Like when that hit, that was like, okay, God, you're real. You just showed up.
Yeah.
You walked into a courtroom expecting maybe a lifelong sentence, and God's like, hold on, I'm not done with you, right? And so he's still writing your story, and he's proving to you, when he doesn't have to, that he's still the author, the perfecter of our faith, and he's steering you into a direction that you can continue to choose him and work and grind through this, or you can turn away. And so, thankfully, you chose to stay with them. You go to Teen Challenge. For people that don't know what Teen Challenge is, like, give me a brief like rundown of what is Teen Challenge.
It's basically a faith-based drug and alcohol recovery program.
Okay, boom.
Yeah.
You were there for a year?
Yeah, 13 months.
What'd you do there?
So I actually started out at a Teen Challenge in Humboldt. So it was a blessing even that, because the one that I applied for was in North Dakota. It was a blessing I was able to come back to the one in California.
Because it got you to the one in Lincoln.
Yeah, for sure. And actually, Cole
Come on,
helped out
shout out Cole.
find the one in Humboldt also. So, and I didn't realize there was one in Sacramento until I went to the one in Humboldt. And yeah, so out there we did a lot of like yard work, landscape, and stuff like that. Over here in Sacramento, did a lot of fundraising. We did landscaping, any kind of work. We helped at the Destiny Church a lot, and just a bunch of stuff. Just different events, helping with the lighting company and different people that just need help with anything kind of thing. So,
Do you remember meeting me?
yeah.
You do?
Yeah. You brought us, I think you brought us pizzas and like waters and stuff. So.
Was that in the van when you guys were weed eating? Is that the first time or is that a separate job?
I think you came in the work truck.
Yeah.
And you came down there to bring us like.
The hill, down the hill.
Yeah, the waters and that was the weed.
First time we met.
Yeah.
Okay. So you finish Teen Challenge and you graduate.
Well, I completed, not graduate.
Whatever.
Because graduate, you gotta stay 6 months.
Whatever. You do something.
Yeah.
You finish it. Okay? Praise God. You do what your sentencing said you had to do.
Yeah.
Still on parole.
Yep.
Not currently. You're off parole.
Yeah.
Praise Jesus. Recent. Congratulations. That's amazing.
Appreciate it.
So you finish, you complete Teen Challenge. You're unemployed.
Yeah.
Hanging around, per usual. And I call you. I'm like, you want a job?
Yeah.
I don't even know you. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just like,
I was confused on how you even got my number.
Bro,
I was like, what the heck?
The director of Teen Challenge. I reached out and they were like, we want you to try and hire somebody. So it's like, all right, cool. I got a guy. So I called Teen Challenge. They said I remembered you. You were like always happy on the job. So I was like, all right, let's go. So I call you and say, hey, present you the job opportunity. You take the job. Walk me through our friendship. Like, I mean, I didn't know it was going to turn into this.
Yeah.
But, like, you're one of my best friends, ministry partners, vision partners. Like, God has done crazy things in both of our lives in just the last, I've known you for 2 years? Maybe?
Yeah, just about
Like 2 years.
Yeah.
Like,
In like September.
but I feel like I've known you forever. Like,
Seems
so
longer than that for sure.
yeah. So like, walk me through. You get on staff, and I just remember you challenging me on like theological topics, like straight up. I was on the lift, and you like said something, right? And I'm like, I'm in facilities, right? So you like, and you're just like challenging me on theological topics, and I'm like, bro, what are you doing, right? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
And you were wrong. So like, that's important to note. But
yeah, well, actually, when I first started, I was gonna start going to men's Bible studies and stuff and whatnot, and you were kind of helping with those at the table. And there's like one of the times like I was like, "Oh, hey, Drew," and you didn't say nothing, and like the dude from Teen Challenge was like, "Dang, I thought that was your boy," and I was like,
but
"I guess not."
You were on staff then, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
like,
yeah, I didn't hear you.
So-
like, I still say that to this day. I did not hear you. I would never.
That's what you said, but no, that's just like, yeah. So at first I was like, "Dang, this dude doesn't really like me. He's just like some dude
Just
that I work
hired you?
with, yeah." And then kind of figured out why a little bit later. That reason's kind of just a hard time, but at the time for you, yeah. So then we just started clicking more. Started having just lunch together. Pretty much every day. We were a pretty close team. Just everybody. Well,
Yeah.
kind of just me, you, and Jesse. Jim sometimes. Austin sometimes.
Yeah.
But dang. But yeah.
Some water.
Having lunch all the time, and then you actually moved out of facilities, and I was like, dang, like my boy just left, because at that time we were like close, and that's when started actually like discipling me more and just doing more stuff, like just like hanging out kind of thing, more than just like work friends kind of thing,
Yeah.
So I don't know if that.
No, it did. So you used to help me. I mean, you still do, but you started like doing ministry with me, like men's ministry. I've always recognized a gifting that you have, and it's like being a salesman. So I always tell people, like, you're going to get people in the door, and then I'm going to do whatever we do in the door, whether it's preaching, teaching, like discipling. But like this one time we went to a men's conference, and I didn't feel like doing it. So we were asked to sell raffle tickets, or what is meal tickets for Texas
like,
Roadhouse.
Yeah, meal tickets.
And you had like 20? Would you have to sell like 30 or 20 or 50?
So I forgot who was selling them, but I think no. There was someone else before they came and gave it to us. They're like, "Hey, I need help selling these. Try to sell these." I think it was probably like Davin or something, you know?
Yeah.
Like came up like, "Hey, I need you guys to sell these." I'm like, "All right." I'm trying to sell them. Like, try a couple people. Sold like one or two, and then I'm like, "There's no way I'm gonna be able to sell these." They're literally for like.
You had like 20 minutes to do it.
Yeah, they're like it's for the next day, meal tickets, and because it was a 2-day. It was like the first night. And they needed to sell them all, and I'm like, all right. And I'm just like walking around, and then out of nowhere, this dude just pops up, and I'm like, hey, bro, you want to...
Little did you know, I was the wealthiest person at the conference, though.
Yeah, and pulled out a big old stack of money, and my eyes just like,
Your old ways.
I'm still fresh out of Teen Challenge and everything, and I was like, I'm just looking at his money like, man, like, you just pulled...
That could do a lot.
Yeah. That's
like, we could do a lot with that band.
That's why I was like, all right, you just pulled all this out on me, but I'm like, I'm not supposed to want to have money like that no more. But I'm like, this dude's like, I don't know. Like,
Satan will tempt even through blessings.
Yeah, for sure. But he ended up buying the rest of the tickets.
All of them.
All of them.
One person, done.
I think it was like, what was it, like $40-$50 a ticket?
It was a lot. Like, yeah. So you learned that in Teen Challenge. Yeah. You had to go door to door, right?
Yeah.
So like door to door knocking, fundraising, and you don't get a dime.
We get 10%.
My bad.
Yeah.
To your wallet?
Yeah, like they have us go on a little mall pass kind of thing. Oh, okay. But it was just to like,
Can't get energy drinks though.
We can on mall pass.
Okay.
Yeah. So or like sometimes they give us money to go fundraising like on the long days.
Yeah.
We're out there 8 hours, but yeah, mall pass was just like a Walmart, Target, like where the
Rockland Commons.
Yeah. So that's
okay. So you essentially, you're a salesman. It's funny because I actually wrote in a notebook. You don't know this, but I wrote in a notebook probably a year and a half ago that we were going to do ministry together. And I didn't know it was going to be like this. Like I thought it was going to be maybe young adult ministry, youth ministry, going on high school campuses. But it's like the Lord, okay, I'm hesitant on saying God said. I'm not a big God said guy, okay? Like I don't think he's saying audibly or like that it's for sure. But I believe in my spirit, the Lord gave me this vision and kind of laid out this thing that we were going to do ministry together. And it's in a notepad. I forgot to bring it. I was going to bring it. But I literally wrote down for Jordan and I to do ministry together and for Jordan to find his purpose in ministry. And so I believe this is not the Kickstarter because you're the most faithful servant that I know. Straight up. Okay, just real quick. Just go on a little tangent because people need fun facts. When I bought my truck, you already know what I was saying. Okay, so I bought a truck and it was a lemon. But before I bought the lemon truck, Jordan was my ride to work, home from work, and to the dealership anytime I needed to look at a truck. So you literally drove me probably 8 times, right?
Yeah.
8 to 10 times.
Almost crashed once.
Almost crashed. Literally almost died. Like you were talking and you thought you were a good driver and you swerved right and we almost flipped. And you said it wasn't that bad. And your tire almost literally popped.
It literally did not almost pop.
Okay.
We just hit
Josiah
like
almost didn't have a dad because
it was
you thought the conversation was
a speed bump.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you live 20 minutes away from me and I live 45 minutes from the church. Whatever, bro. You need to drive faster. Okay. So we go to the dealership, back home. Okay. Buy the truck. We think it's good. This is probably after the 4th or 5th time that you drove me. I give the truck back and I cancel the deal. Long story, I'm not going to get into it. And I need another truck. So now I don't have a vehicle again. You're picking me up before work, taking me in, you're taking me home, you're taking me to the dealership. And that's just one example. But literally, everyone I talk to, you are the most faithful servant I have ever met, like straight up. So, like, and people have even confirmed that in you prophetically.
Yeah.
Like, the Lord's going to use your servant's heart, right?
Yeah.
Quote, and I quote, okay, from a pillar in the faith. And so, serve well. Like, that's how you get to places. That's how you're able to experience things. That's how you're able to do the things that God is wanting you to do in ministry, outside of ministry. But I just wanted to, I wanted you to share your story because it's one of the most impactful stories that I know, like in a person that I'm close to. And two, like, it's such a redemption story of, bro, there was no way out. And you disqualified yourself.
Yeah, sure.
Like, we talk about those words all the time. Unqualified and disqualified. You disqualified yourself from anything and everything that you may have wanted to accomplish in your life. But God turned it and he used it for good. So right, Romans 8:28. He flipped the script on your story and he's still writing it. But give me, just to close, like, give me a message, for one message for your friends, your old homies, people who may think they don't need Jesus, or people who have made a mistake and they think they're too far gone from the love of God. Like, what's your message to people?
Well, in my situation, for sure, like, I thought my life was over, like, and even though, like, those 5 months seemed so long, it was really quick. And even the year, like, in Teen Challenge, that wasn't just a breeze kind of thing. That was a struggle, too. And I had, like, faith shaking stuff and, like, character changing stuff and, like, happened all in that time. And it's just, you just got to keep believing in God. Like, I mean, I'm not perfect or nothing. Like, I still go through a lot of stuff. And it's just kind of, what's it called? Like, the decisions you make kind of, like, help you point to where you're going to go. Like, when I'm making good decisions and stuff, I see my life start to go up more and stuff. When I'm not making the right decision, doing things I'm not supposed to, it's kind of, there's things that happen that kind of bring me down and stuff. And, like, even, like, little things, like, maybe, like I get around some of the old friends and, like, certain language comes out, or, like, I'm talking about old things I used to do. It's like, and then I start thinking about those things, and now I'm like, dang, why don't I try to do this? And it's like more thoughts is able to attack you if you putting yourself in that kind of environment. Like, and a big thing that Drew also kind of helped me out with, that helped me personally, is kind of like, even though I've been doing pretty good, but it's like my music change and everything, like, that does play a big role and stuff, like, on your attitude and everything like that, like, for sure. Because now I've tried to just listen to, like, Christian stuff.
Come on,
like,
CHH is popping.
Yeah, Christian rap, a lot of just worship music and stuff like that. Is like, and I can see my attitudes being better, and, like, even, like, things that happen at work that used to irritate me now is like, when I'm listening to that, it's like, it still will irritate me, but it won't let me flip my emotions to where I'm getting, like, down back to the old Jordan that, I used to be ready to do whatever, kind of thing, like.
On site.
Yeah, it's like the goofy on somebody, kind of thing, but, like, so.
The fivefold ministry.
Fivefold, but, yeah, it's just like, there's, like, and, like, a big thing that I would say to the people is, like, the joy of the Lord. That's, if you get that, that's, like, one of the best things. Like, that's one of the things, like, I learned from, like, some of the older people I help out at the church and stuff, is, like, just their joy. Like, they'll be going through, like, sickness, death, like things that's happening a lot. And it's like some of them are the most joyous people that I ever met. And I'm just like,
How?
you almost died last week, but you're smiling, making jokes, and just having fun. Like, how? You know?
Straight up.
Like, and that's always something that I like, I guess, strive for kind of thing.
Yeah.
So just, that kind of thing. So
It's like James 1:2, consider it all joy.
Yeah.
Whenever you face trials of any kind.
Yeah. It's like, crazy. Like,
it's life changing.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it is truly life changing. So like, just to sum up what you just said, I would say your decisions determine your destination.
Yeah, for sure.
Every decision you make is going to determine the next step of how or when you arrive at your destination.
Yeah,
you could delay it with one decision, or you could literally launch it.
Yeah, some decisions could bring you a step forward. Some decisions make you bring 5 steps back. You know, like sometimes it's 10 steps forward. Sometimes it's 20 steps back. 1 step back. Like it's just I'm learning that your decisions that you make impact you a lot and on your path to where you're trying to go. You know, kind of thing. Yeah. Whatever that may be.
What's your favorite quote?
Quote or verse?
Quote.
Oh,
come on, bro.
I haven't said it to people in a minute. Okay. All right, so it's don't let the world change your smile. Let your smile change the world.
Come on, bro.
Yeah. So
thank you for being on. Love you.
Love you too, bro.
And need you in this ministry. So appreciate you.
Appreciate you too. Bro.
Let's do it. It's good.
All right.
Cut.